Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all, to The Way with Jazz and Tay. Before the break, we went and did our review of the week, which was all about Candyman, 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 Candyman. Don't worry, I'm not looking into a mirror.
Did you really just have to curse us? I mean, kind of you are. You're looking at your own reflection.
Yeah.
It's not real.
If he comes after me tonight, Jasmine, I'm coming for you.
Great.
Here's the thing. I was the one that said it, though, not y'all. So y'all will be good. I'm going to be the one that's dead.
Do you remember? I was about to
I just
something.
like.
Remember the very first kill scene in the first one?
Okay. No.
Only one person said it, and more than one person died.
Oh.
So, like
but
I
you know
said,
why? You know why though?
Here's the promise to you.
They weren't.
If
brown
he comes
folk.
for me, I'm haunting you. Okay.
Okay.
I think you guys should just be quiet.
Benny, like he's over here,
just shut it
I'm
down.
not trying to
runaway
play.
show.
Shut it down. I want to live.
Look,
I want to live.
me too, Benny.
Okay.
Me too.
Shut her down.
Candyman isn't real. You know how many times I said that? I know. All right, you guys, for real though, I'm sorry and I love y'all. So if I do die, Shantae, you can have all my stuff. It's written and it's recorded. Please make sure that, the stuff that belongs to my mom gets to my mom, but
I cannot.
All right. Now, on a more serious note, let's transition into our hot topic, which is the Afghanistan withdrawal and the Taliban takeover. So high level, Tay, you want to talk about kind of what happened to lead us up to this point, and we can kind of have a conversation about it before we talk about what the heck that means for women?
Sure. So back in April, Biden announced that we would begin exiting our troops from Afghanistan beginning in May with a deadline of August 31st. Everything was going great. And then on August 15th, the Taliban took over this capital city of Kabul. This was prompted by the exit and deal between the U.S. and the Taliban, which, if you guys all know, we've been over there for 20 years now, since 2001. And
which is crazy to think about.
The Pentagon and the Twin Towers, 9/11, which is also coming up. There are a few things that we wanted to note about the withdrawal and just like what has happened in the course of the 20 years. So over the course of the 20 years, I just wanted to note that the U.S.'s spending on this entire conflict has totaled to about $987 billion. That's a lot of money. That's in military and reconstruction funds. Another note is that the Taliban actually first took over Afghanistan back in like 92, actually. And there was just a bunch of civil wars up until 96 when they successfully took over and were kind of like controlling everything.
Okay.
And then from 96 to 2001, the Taliban was controlling everything. And that's when we became involved, was because of the attack on us. I was actually reading that today because I was like, were they always in control? And when did the switch happen? And actually what I was reading is that Afghanistan was a pretty progressive social and like almost had socialist view sets until the Taliban came in and just switched everything up.
And that makes sense. I came across this page called like History Photograph, and it was showing, women in the 70s in Afghanistan who looked
they were actually
they looked like American women, basically.
They were part of government. They had women in parliament and all of this stuff, like from the 60s. And like literally I was reading, I was like, well, if they had, like everything was cool in the 60s, like what happened between the 60s and 2001? And it was the Taliban basically taking over and forcing their conservative Islamic views on Afghanistan and the women and the whole area.
See, and that makes so much sense too when you talk about the timeline, because a lot of the stuff that I found in research, like laws relating to women and restrictions and stuff like that, a lot of that was happening in 1998. So after they had okay, we're here now by 96. the full transition of power or whatever. And then by 98, it was just a mess.
It was a mess. Yeah. And we had stayed out of it, again, until 2001 when they
decided to, act a dang fool. What is wrong with y'all?
Yes. So that's basically what has happened. August 31st has passed and we've, exited majority.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of had
majority. Yes. The key word I was saying, though, is majority, meaning not all.
There's still
majority of our people from Afghanistan. The Taliban said that we need to adhere to that deadline, and Biden was
he's like,
positive.
Okay.
He's like, we're absolutely going to do that. We don't have any plans. Well, a lot of people were thinking that maybe we might stay after the August 15th fight or takeover. But the Taliban was like, no, you need to get up out of here because that was the agreement. And Biden was like, absolutely, I have no plans to change the course of all of this. So that's what's happened. Jazz, what do you think about it?
I think it's a tragedy. We often have these conversations about how the U.S. needs to just mind their own business, but yet they're always looked to like, try to help and whatnot. And here we are, we're trying to help, I guess. I think that was our purpose for the last 20 years. I'm sorry. So here we are now our nose in somewhere that it doesn't necessarily need to be, but I guess had to be brought to because they forced us. And now that we're pulling out, we're like, well, no, now it's too early. Well, look at what's happening. US, you're just going to stand by and da-da-da-da-da. So it's like, we've talked about this same exact thing too. It's like, it's going to be a double-sided sword. Either we're doing something about it and it's like, why are you involved? Or we're not doing something about it. And it's like, why are you not stepping in? So I guess as a country, Biden did what he needed to do for us and stuck by it. So I'm going to stick beside him.
That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him. Yeah, facts. I completely agree. That's pretty much what I said, was that I think it's tragic what's happening, but I also think that I'm glad that Biden stuck beside his words to remove our troops. I feel like everyone's been talking about we're going to exit Afghanistan, and it's not happened. And I think it was time. I don't think that there's any right time to exit a situation like this. So it's like,
and how can you do it with grace?
Exactly. I don't know what we could have done better, different, or anything. I don't know that us spending more time over there would have mattered. It just would have been more like casualties all around, not just on our side, but on their side, because it probably would have meant we were gonna have a small war again.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I just it's a tragedy, and I'm really scared to see what's gonna happen as they become again more established, and if they enact some of the same restrictions as before. Because I want to highlight some stuff that we found, which I just found to be completely unbelievable, and I could never imagine having to live like this, you guys. But once in 1998, by February of 1998, the Taliban had enforced such strict rules, laws, restrictions that they were forced to wear the burqa, which you guys have seen many, many times. It's the full head to toe, dressing, covers the head. There's just that mesh opening for your eyes to see through. And then by February of 1998, no women could actually be out on the streets, and that was in Kabul. You had to blacken out your windows if you had women in your household so that nobody could see them on the inside. And girls were restricted to going to school inside of their home. And by June of 1998, schooling was then just outlawed for females as a whole. And they couldn't even go to general hospitals because of the fact that men and women were intermingling there. So that only allowed, I guess, one hospital within their capital city that women could actually go to. And then also there was a lots of, confusion during this transition in which maybe women were not obeying the right way or something like that. So a lot of public beatings and things like this were going on due to rules and things not being followed, or being misinterpreted. And I just couldn't imagine. I'm sorry. We grew up with I've never been told that I couldn't go outside, or that if I am going to be outside, I need to
have to have a male chaperone.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Women could only work in the medical field. And the reason why women were only allowed to work in the medical field was because of the fact that male doctors could not treat female patients. So that was the only reason why women were able to get an education or, work in the medical field, was because other women needed to have care. Yeah, just baffling. I'm really not looking forward to seeing this happen again, or I don't want to assume that, but I mean, it's the Taliban, so what, you know what I mean? What are we to expect? Are these the kind of things that we are to look forward to for them? What do you think?
I have no clue. They've agreed to be peaceful, but like, people say one thing and do another, and I think that they've got a strict code of their own that they live by. So I have a feeling that we're going to see some egregious things, and I think hoping for peace is just like being a little PC, because people are terrified. Like, people are already trying to flee. Like, it's not good. But I don't know. I have a hard time with the whole thing, because it's like, what are we to do?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that we can do other than, honestly, we might not even be able to watch for very long, to be honest, because I heard that they're going to get rid of social media and like internet out there. They're going to do what North Korea does and just ban all that stuff. So we won't even be able to see what's really going on, and they won't be able to talk to anybody outside of there either. So
yeah,
it's I think it's a really sad day for women there, and it's a complete rewind.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time that we have today for our show. Please let us know what you thought about the conversation in the comments or DM us. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this Thursday. It's been The Way with Jazz and Tay.